Hello and welcome on the Say Yes to Yourself channel. I'm Marine, your guide and host, and today we are talking about passion. I want to share about that because it's very, very important. Maybe you've been following your passion. Maybe you have a passion, something that you really, really care about, that lights you up, that you really want to do. You have a lot of accomplishments you want to get to, things you want to achieve, but you don't feel fulfilled. And you don't understand why also. Because when we are passionate about something, it's like, oh, that's my thing. That's my one thing. I love it so much. And we want to do more in this. We want to achieve more in this. Kind of have those goalposts. And we project being fulfilled with those achievements, with those goals. And then you're like, I'm following my passion, but it doesn't feel fulfilling to me. And I'm explaining to you why in this video. So you have the idea of like, well, if you're not satisfied with what you have right now, you will, even if you get more, you won't be satisfied because you're projecting this state of satisfaction, of joy, of fulfillment onto something other, something external of you, something that will come next and will come next. And then you get to the next thing and you're like, yeah, that's not it. And you keep going. You just keep going because you can never reach it because you never allow yourself to be in that state. So that's one thing, and energetic things that I, may develop and get into in another video. So that's something, but that's not the one thing. When we feel passionate about something, when we have a passion, what is happening when you have a passion? I'm going to use an example. I don't know if you have seen this movie, and you probably have. It's Soul, the Pixar Disney movie Soul. I think it's a good example of seeing the different aspect of having a passion. And so in the movie, you have Joe Garner, who is a music teacher, is passionate by jazz, he is a music enthusiast, he plays the piano, and he just keeps on saying how his thing is jazz. It's music, it's jazz, it's all he cares about, it's all he wants to do. And he has this dream. He wants to achieve this dream, which is to play jazz as his gig, his job, to just book gigs in the evening and play jazz. And everything, all his focus and his attention and energy and time is on that, playing jazz. Because it's his passion, because music is his passion, and that's what he wants to do. What happens with Joe Garner? So in the movie, what happens with Joe is that he falls down, he kills himself, by accident. He dies, poor fellow. And then his soul leaves his body and he does everything he can to come back on Earth because he finally booked the gig of the lifetime, everything he has worked towards, everything he ever wanted. In his passion, it wants the thing of playing jazz. He finally got it. He was going to play in this gig on stage tonight, and now he's in the hospital, he's dying, his soul left his body. What is he gonna do? He wants to go back, right? And he's passionate about his music, so passionate. And you can see that when he plays music, when he's on the piano and he plays jazz and he gets into this flow state. And that is something very interesting because it's what's happening when we have a passion and we are letting ourselves be carried by this flow, by this passion. We get into this flow state where we are connected to source energy. You're connected to the divine when you are in your passion, and that's why it feels so good, and that's why you love it so much, and that's why you want to keep doing that. And you can see that in the movie, right? You can see all those people in their passion, in their greatness, being in those bubbles, in this flow state, connected to something that is deeper, wider, bigger than them. And that's the passion. But then what happens is that Joe sees passion. He perceives his passion. He loves jazz. He loves music. And then he projects onto, oh, the achievement, the fulfillment will be in doing that as a job, booking gigs and playing the piano and playing jazz every evening. He finally managed to come back on Earth, play in the evening on the bookie gigged with the jazz singer and with the band, and then at the end of it, he's happy, he's excited, right? It's just everything he ever wanted. And he's like, and then what? He actually is standing next to the singer, and he asks her, then what? Now what? And she's like, well, you come back tomorrow evening and we do it all over again. And you can see how disappointed it is. Like it's like there is something he doesn't quite understand. And he explained to her how he thought he would actually feel different than how he's feeling right now. And that's the thing. He had this idea of what it would feel like to live his dream, that it would be fulfilling to him, that it will be everything. Because he projected this fulfillment onto his passion. And then he reached it. But it didn't feel everything like he thought it would. He thought it would be different. And why? Your passion is great and you love it, but why is it not fulfilling to you? Because it's not your calling. Because Joe's calling in the movie wasn't the music. It wasn't the jazz. He thought it was, and that's what he pursued. And it wasn't. And once he got there, it's like, oh, that's not what I thought it would be. Because your passion may not be your calling. It can be, but it can also not be. Because, for example, if Joe finished his gig in the evening and she tells him, the singer, well, now you come back tomorrow evening and we do it all over again. And he'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so happy. Like, it feels like just so good. And like, oh my God, I'm getting to do that every evening. Like, that's my life. Like, I cannot wait to do that every evening. That could have been, a reaction of him. Because he would have felt fulfilled. There would have been fulfillment into playing jazz every night. Because there would have been his calling inside of that too. But it wasn't his case. It wasn't. And that's the difference between passion and calling. Between passion and meaning. Between a passion and a vocation. You can be passionate about a lot of things, and usually they come into play into your calling. But the passion itself is not fulfilling. The calling is what is fulfilling to you. Your vocation is what is fulfilling to you. It's the meaning. And for Joe in the movie, the meaning wasn't in playing jazz. He loves jazz. He's passionate about jazz. He loves it. But it's not his meaning. It's not what that is fulfilling him. And when you watch the movie, you can see how he's impacting kids. He has this kid that he used to teach music to. That's the one who called him to get the gig and try for it. And he explained how impactful Joe was on him when he was a kid, when he was at school, as his music teacher. And you can see that right now in the movie, he has another class he's teaching, and there is a little girl there. And he also has an impact on her through his passion, through loving jazz, through playing the piano, through living and sharing his passion about jazz, about music, about piano, instruments with other people. And in those examples, with kids. That was his meaning. That was his vocation. That's the fulfilling part in his life. But he wasn't aware of that because he was focused on his passion. And often that happens. That happens very often because we are passionate about something and like, oh my God, that's my thing. And then we can imagine a path for that. So music, well, it's to do that as a job. Or it's like making movies or all those things. And you can see how you can go bigger. You can achieve things in that passion of yours. But it may not be fulfilling because you are lacking the meaning. And there's something in the movie that at some point, Joe, when he, I think it's early in the beginning when he sees his life from as a soul, and he's like, my life was meaningless. And I listened to a podcast where some time ago, where a man explained, well, they were talking about the movie, and he said, I cried a lot because that really hit me, because he saw himself in Joe in the, oh, my life lacked meaning. My life is meaningless. And he was sharing how he has a beautiful life and he's married, he has kids, and he loves them, and it's a great life. And still, he feels that there is something missing. There is a lack of meaning. Because the meaning may not be your passion. Your meaning can be in your passion. And you see how it's connected for Joe. It's connected to music through him expressing his passion. But then the fulfilling part of it is what? It's the impact that he has. It's the impact. That's where he would have found fulfillment. And you can even see it because when he's a soul and he's like mentoring 22, another soul who does not want to incarnate on Earth, and he kind of asks for 22's help to get back in his body. So 22 does not want to go, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna help you because I'm gonna help you. I don't want to go there, and you really want to go there, and I find that weird. So let me look into that. Let me help you out. And even then, he's mentoring 22. Despite himself, without even realizing. But would he have been aware of that? Not being focused on just, oh, my thing is jazz, my thing is music, that's my thing. And the next step in my thing is playing it as a professional piano player every night, booking gig. Then he has that and like, oh, shoot, that's not the thing. Well, and also he didn't live his life. He just focused on music and the rest, like family, relationships, everyday life, anything other than music, he wasn't there for it. So there is really not much that he allowed himself to get into because he was so focused on music and this goal. And that's what's happening very often when we have those goals and achievements and accomplishments in mind connected to our passion. Because and even when you can, like, until you achieve it, you may not realize that, oh, that's not really a thing. And even then, when you achieve them, and they're like, oh, that's not really a thing. There's something other. There's a next thing, and the next, and the next, and the next. And like, it's just not the right thing. And your passion is related to your vocation, to your calling, to your meaning, but it is not your meaning. If it's not your meaning, it's not your meaning. But by staying focused on that and limited in this idea, you may not be open to actually connecting with your meaning. In the movie, Joe could have experienced a life where he loves jazz and he plays jazz and he can try to book gig too, and also see how sharing his passion has an impact and how he can actually open himself up to that and recognize that, oh my goodness, that actually ignites my soul. The impact that I have, it lights me up. There is so much meaning. And I want to do that more. I want to awaken kids' passion for music through my own passion for music. That's the meaning. That's the meaning. That's the calling. It's something within your soul that is calling you, that is pulling onto you. Something that matters to you at a soul level. It may not be your passion. And if you're not fulfilled by your passion, that's why your passion isn't your meaning. Your passion isn't your calling. Your passion isn't your why. It's your passion. It's a part of it. It's there. Do it. Love it. Be connected to life force energy. Be in that zone. Be in your flow. But be mindful of what really ignites your soul. Be mindful of what truly holds meaning to you, the impact that you have. The impact that you have that is lighting up your soul is your meaning. That's where the fulfillment lies. Not exclusively in the passion. That's not where you feel fulfilled. You feel happy, you feel joy, it's great. Then you're empty. Then there is like, my life is meaningless. Because you're missing the meaning. Because you're missing the impact. And it's there. You have it, I have it, we all have it. All of us. There is something that matters to you at a soul level, it's there. It is fulfilling to you. Is it your passion? No, probably not. Maybe not. Probably not. Honestly, probably not. But it can be like a piece of your passion. Like in the movie. It's about music. It's connected to your passion. But your passion itself is not the meaning of your life. It's not the impact. And see, when I gave this example of like, well, Joe could have been fulfilled and have meaning in playing in this jazz club and asking the singer and the singer telling him, oh, well, we come back tomorrow evening and we do it all over again. And it could have been like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so great. And it could have found meaning because his meaning could have been in the playing piano every night at the club. It wasn't his case, but it could have been. It could have been. It could have been seeing people be lit up. It could have been the vibe he's creating when he plays jazz. It could have been that suddenly he's creating a new kind of music that is carrying forward in this industry. It could have been whatever it is. It wasn't the case for him, but that's the difference. Because the passion for him, the music, the jazz, is connected to his meaning. But his way is activating that passion into other people, into kids. Like, get them activated by what they truly love. It could have been different. His meaning in music, in jazz, could have been very different. But that is when you feel really lit up, when your soul is ignited. That's your meaning. That's your calling. That is what is fulfilling. Your passion itself won't fulfill you. Your passion itself in achieving goals in your passion won't be the thing like, yeah, oh my God, that's it. No, because your passion is not your calling. Your meaning is. Get what I'm saying? Can you see that in your life? Can you see how your passion is not bringing you the fulfillment, the meaning that you actually feel called to? Because if you feel unfulfilled is because you know in your heart you're meant to be fulfilled. And what you're experiencing right now doesn't match that. It doesn't feel like fulfillment. So there is a disconnect. There is a gap between the fulfillment I know, even if it's not in your mind, that you know deep in your heart, in your soul, that you're meant to experience. And then there is your life and you're like, there's something missing there. It's not quite right. It's the gap. Because it can exist. You're not experiencing it now, but the gap is showing you what is possible for you, what is within you, ready to be accessed, which is what fulfills you, which is the meaning. If your life feels meaningless or there's more to it, because there is, because you feel the meaning inside of you and you cannot see it around you. Because you're pursuing, you're following your passion and you feel unfulfilled because you feel how you're supposed to feel is fulfilled. And it's not what you're experiencing right now in your external reality. You feel the disconnect. Now, the reality, bullshit. That's not true. What's true is what is within you. That's the truth. That's the truth of it. It's what is within you. The possibility for fulfillment, the call for meaning, that is your truth. So in your life, with the passion that you have, that you had, and you don't feel the fulfillment, Where can you see your meaning? Look for your meaning. You look for the calling in your heart. Not exclusively the passion, but the meaning, the impact that you have. What exactly lights you up at a soul level? That is the fulfillment. That is the calling, the meaning, the why. That's the thing. That's what you're looking for. Okay? Okay. Feel like, I think I anchored it in. Yeah. I see. I remember when I listened to that podcast about this guy sharing about the movie Soul and saying how he was crying and saying how he related to that so much and felt that his life was meaningless. And it's the feeling is true. You feel this way, but only because you are aware of what is available to you, but you're not experiencing it now. And that is hurting you. But you know the possibility because you have meaning in your life. You have meaning in your life. It is available. It is accessible. You're not connected to it now, but it is true. Do not ever doubt or think for a second that you don't have meaning, that you don't have an impact, because you do. And your impact, your meaning, your calling, you are passionate about it. It's not a passion, but you're passionate about it. You love it. It lights you up. It ignites you. You have it. You do.